Member for Southwest Miramichi Bay de Vin.
Mr. Speaker, last December, the PISA scores were released throughout Canada, and in one section below the New Brunswick scores, there was something interesting going on that I don't think a lot of New Brunswickers knew about. The Francophone sector of education in our province is the fastest improving education sector in Canada, and some research suggests the 8th fastest in the world. These improvements have been over the last 4 years. I see this as an achievement, and I would like to ask the Minister of Education again today, what did the Francophone sector do, or what did they buy into, that has helped them improve at such a rapid pace? Thank you.
The Honourable Minister of Education.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. Le secteur francophone, oui, bravo, il fait des bons travail pour les étudiants ici dans le Nouveau-Brunswick. Et les résultats sont très, très bons. Mais c'est nécessaire pour expliquer à le membre opposite aujourd'hui. The PISA provides the tool that's used for current practice to be able to have informed decisions going forward in continuous education, Mr. Speaker, and improvement. In reading and science, New Brunswick ranks specifically above the average for participating countries, and in math, the average is equal to that of the participating countries. But unlike most provinces, Mr. Speaker, there's no significant difference in science and reading between Francophone students and Anglophone students. But the Francophone sector did, Mr. Speaker, have better results in math, and we want to congratulate them for them. Math is one of the areas now that we are focusing of the Anglophone education plan for year 1, and the Francophone sector does an excellent job at taking a community approach in education, and we are now doing that with our Anglophone sector, Mr. Speaker. So we are putting the proper resources in place to be improved.
Member for Southwest Miramichi Bay de Vin.
Mr. Speaker, my point in that question is that across the board, they are improving. And it started 4 years ago, and they're still not where they would like to be. But my question is, it's obvious to me that the two sectors, I'm guessing they're doing different things. So my question here today, again, what did the Francophone sector do 4 years ago? They started this. What did they do that has had them improve across all areas? And I think it's very important that the Minister of Education shares that information because if the two sectors are doing something extremely different from each other, they might work together to learn from each other, and we might bring all scores up across the board in New Brunswick. So today I'd like to ask again, what is the Francophone sector doing specifically that has them improving in all of those areas? Thank you.
The Honourable Minister of Education.
Mr. Speaker, we did extensive consultation over the last couple of years working with the education sector, working with our communities, and the Francophone sector are doing some great things, working on a community-based approach, and now with our 2 education programs moving forward with a 10-year education plan, we're going to be doing those best practices also in the Anglophone sector. So we're learning from one each other. That's the difference between this government and the other government. When they were in opposition, they were putting up silos. They weren't communicating. What I see today is our education systems working together and sharing best practices. Mr. Speaker, when a community takes ownership on education, good things will happen, and that's what's happening right now, Mr. Speaker. Good things are happening in education. We have record investments in education. We're working together with our districts. We're working together with our teachers, working together with our communities. We're working together with our families. We're working together with everybody in the province. It takes the province to put this together, Mr. Speaker, and I'm very glad on this side of the House that we will have one of the best education systems moving forward, Mr. Speaker. I hope that the opposition will join and try and not be
Member for Southwest Miramichi Bay de Vin.
Mr. Speaker, it's an answer that I seek. The Francophone schools in New Brunswick between 2012 and 2015 attained the highest improvement rate in the country. In science, the country improved by 3 points, while New Brunswick's Francophone schools improved by 27. In reading, the country improved by 4, while New Brunswick's Francophone sector improved by 22. In math, the country decreased by its score by 2 points, while New Brunswick's Francophone schools improved by 5. So as you can see, it's not so much that I'm comparing both sectors to each other, it's just that the Francophone sector is improving rapidly. And I think it's very important that the Minister talks about sharing best practices and community involvement, but what is it that they're sharing? What knowledge can we gain in the Anglophone sector from the Francophone sector, which seems to be hitting it out of the park?
The Honourable Minister of Education.
Speaker, I think we're going to hit it out of the park, and we're going to have a home run, Mr. Speaker, with working together. On the Francophone sector, we see a community approach, and that's a community getting everybody involved. The Francophone sector also does what we call performance management to identify the challenges and track their progress. So we're going to use those tools and those opportunities in the Anglophone sector, clearly identified in the education plan moving forward, Mr. Speaker. And it's important that we continue to use these best practices from each sector to improve the system as a whole. So unlike the opposition, where they're trying to find a wedge issue again here today, Mr. Speaker, we feel that we want to be able to extend the olive branch to the opposition to work with us, work with our communities, to be able to make sure that we can identify all the positive things that we have in all sectors of our education system. And Mr. Speaker, with the record investments that we're doing in the right places, with the proper people getting involved, with the community as a whole working together, Mr. Speaker, we will hit it out of the park.